Minister in the Presidency, Collins Chabane. Minister, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. So what is the plan of the committee? What does it do when it gets to Marikana?
As you know, that the President announced the committee on Sunday. On Monday morning, we were there. Firstly, we had to work out a plan and discuss as to what is it that we need to do. Our first priority was to ensure that the families of those who are deceased are helped. They get the necessary help. And once we have done that, then we deal with the issues of hospitals, and then we can deal with the rest of the issues which we're supposed to face, including meeting the workers themselves.
Okay. What kind of help are the families receiving?
Firstly, when we got there, the families had not yet received, they have not yet had the opportunity to identify or to search for the bodies, because you remember they would have to be taken to the mortuary and so on and so forth. So we had to sort that out, which was done on the same day. We finalized that. And then we have to finalize the identification process, and then we'll have to deal with the issue of postmortem, so that those who want to bury over the weekend, they can bury. Those who want to choose to bury at any other time, at least the paperwork should have been done and all the procedures should have been performed by the end of the week. Okay, so that is done now. We hope Minister Mzwaledi will be checking on the issue of the postmortems, if those are concluded by today or they will be concluded by tomorrow, but we think we will be able to do it.
Yeah, and then in terms of the memorial service, is there a planned memorial service now?
There is a planned memorial service. We are discussing. Eastern Cape will be having one. That is the ones they've reported. You'll remember that most of the people come from rural areas, and therefore Eastern Cape is preparing for one. We are looking at the memorial service at Marikana. We have been discussing that issue, which will be concluded by today, but there is a decision that there should be a memorial service.
In Marikana itself?
Yes.
Okay. And then the one in the Eastern Cape is going to be in the Eastern Cape?
The Premier informed me that it's likely to be at Mthatha.
Yeah. Okay. In the news, we're reporting that when the Interministerial Committee got there, the workers did not want to be addressed by the committee.
Obviously, you'll understand that's a very tense situation. People are affected, and that there's nothing strange about that. The fact of the matter is that we had discussed with the committee, the leadership of the workers there, that we'll be coming at this point. We agreed that we're going to come at this point. And then we went there, and people raised their issues which they wanted to raise, which we listened. And we addressed them. Then we went away. We were going to give feedback at some point about some of the issues which they raised, which we could not answer because we didn't know those issues. So we think there was nothing strange with that process.
Yeah. What are some of the issues that they raised?
Obviously, they raised issues about the conduct of the police. They're alleging that there's other people who are still missing. They don't know where they are. We'll have to look for those people and try to get the details. They've given us the details, the names and so on and so forth. We're going to look around. There are allegations that some have been, they were shot and they were taken by helicopter. We don't know what happened, whether they were taken for medical treatment or whatever. So we don't know those issues. We'll have to inquire. And then once we've got that information, we'll then report back to the workers.
The issues that brought this matter to such a simmering and really tragic culmination, as it were, they remain. Does the committee have a mandate to get involved with those issues?
The only thing we can do, we don't want to get involved in labor issues. Otherwise, once government get involved in the negotiations between unions and employers, it's a precedent which we are not going to sustain for a very long time. We must allow the laws and regulations to regulate that part. For us, is to make sure that those relationships must take place under conducive environment. No intimidation, no violence, no beating of people, and so on and so forth. Once
no
that
shootings.
is achieved, no shootings. Once that is achieved, then they can be able to proceed. But in the meantime, there are quite a number of task teams which have been, the church leaders have been doing that part to try and see if they can broker a discussion between the workers and the management in the course of the process. Once those processes are in place, we think the situation will have stabilized.
So where are we now? Now somebody listening to our conversation and thinking, okay, so where are we? There's an interministerial committee gone there to Marikana. Lonmin has said, go back to work. Production has to continue there. The issues the workers were raising still remain on the table. We see visuals of the workers still sitting on that hill there. Where is the situation? What is your sense now?
We think the situation has improved significantly because the level of intimidation and violence which existed before the shooting has gone down. It's non-existent for now. The situation has stabilized. We don't know if it can flare up again, but for now, it has stabilized. Two, that at least there is more coordination amongst the stakeholders. You must remember there are a lot of people who went there as individuals. So they go there and address the workers and go away. We are government. We have got the responsibility We have got to deal with the funerals, we've got to deal with the postmortems, we deal with people at hospitals, we deal with the relationship between the management. And so those things, we think the situation is stabilized. Management is beginning to understand some of the issues which are being raised, even which we raised ourselves. So we think the situation is...
What issues did you raise?
We discussed 2 issues with management. One was their contribution or their responsibility in terms of preparing for the burials of those who have been buried. 2, that we ensure that for those who have lost their loved ones, or those who are in hospitals or they're immobilized, when they have to get the benefits and the patients, sometimes it takes a long time. Those processes are going to be fast-tracked, so you don't have people at destitute as a result of this. That part is there. The other part of that is that we discussed the issue of the ultimatum. You remember by the time we went there, the ultimatum was already in force, in place. So we did agree with them that, look, the issue of the ultimatum won't work now. It may just increase the temperatures and the tensions. So let's put it aside. You can then deal with it at some other time. But for now, let's focus on the major task, which is the burying of those and searching for those who might be missing, if there is anybody missing.
Okay. There's so much to talk about on this issue. Minister Collins Chabane is Minister in the Presidency. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, we got the toll-free number for loanmen, if you'd like, or perhaps you are a member of the family who might be affected, or somebody who works there and you'd like to call this toll-free number. It's 0800 668 690, 0800 668 690.